Zafar Shokat and presenting along with Muhammad Umair and Muhammad Tusin. We belong to Group 148 and the topic of our presentation is the feasibility of green logistics, that is minimizing air freight pollution. Today's subject speaks about one of the most imperative environmental issues in international logistics, green air freight, so that it becomes environmentally more friendly but without losing sight of business requirement. Our case study is entitled Viability of Green Logistics and Reducing Air Flight Pollution. We will examine real cases, quantify stakeholder influence, investigate issues, and provide solutions. And can you please move to the next slide? And then my next topic is aim and objectives. Now I am explaining the aim and objectives. Our project aims to assess the reality and sustainability of green supply chains, particularly in the air freight industry. Green logistics is anything from getting green with fuels to designing the supply chain so that emissions are minimized. There are four goals of our project. First, we want to identify the key components of green supply chain, such as reverse logistics, green packaging, and SAF. Secondly, we are going to find companies that already use them. Thirdly, we look at the economic and sustainability implications of such models. Finally, we will outcome ways of border industry level adoption to the benefit of large and small companies alike in terms of cleaner practices. Can you please move to the third slide? And my third topic is what is green logistics. I will explain the green logistics. Green logistics is a supply chain model that aims to minimize damage to the environment through the practice of sustainability practices in every activity of logistics. There are low emission trucks, packaging, and reverse logistics that reuse or remanufacture. Another key factor is energy efficient warehousing that save electricity and water. The goal is to make logistics more efficient while containing its effect on the environment. Some example of green new logistic practice includes the use of electric trucks for short distance deliveries, technology for tracking sustainability among suppliers. It's not just saving the planet. Green logistics will also get your brand and bottom line greener. Can you please move to the next slide? My fourth topic is problem overview. The biggest challenge we are facing in the center is air freight logistic sustainability footprint. Air freight is quick and assured, but it's the most carbon heavy transport mode per ton kilometer. That represents a really big challenge to sustainability. If left unchecked, air freight alone could wider climate objectives. That is why we are inquiring, can air freight logistics be greener without sacrificing efficiency or cost? Our research examines how business can switch to cleaner fuels, better optimize routes, and redesign network to decrease emissions without sacrificing service. Can you please move to the next slide? And my next slide topic is historical background. The concept of green logistics became mainstream in the early 20s, particularly following the Kyoto Protocol and subsequent Paris Agreement. These agreements forced governments and corporations to act on climate. Recycling and energy efficient warehouses were early bets in transportation logistics, but electric deliveries and AI routing. Green supply chains began to take up tractions beginning 2015 as a necessity, not a choice. Business such as DHL and Unilever were among the first movers. The rise in carbon pricing, fuel volatility, and climate regulations has made green logistics not only authentically important but economically strategic too. Now I will invite my next team partner, and they will explain the further. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Chigbo Ome, and I will be presenting the next slide of our project, Conveying Stakeholders Analysis and Real-World Study Cases. My goal is to show how green logistics affect various groups of government, such as government, business, and consumers. How companies like DHL and Unilever are leading the ways. This case study demonstrates the viability of sustainability practice in logistics and provide real-life inspiration for others in the industries. I'm also delighted to highlight how key drivers like regulations and consumers demand are pushing this sector towards green innovations. Let us start by learning who gets impacted by these changes. Green logistics, especially air flights, touches the lives of numerous stakeholders significantly. And on the other hand, there are companies who invest upfront but reap low-term savings as well as improved ESG performance in return. Consumers next get more conscious and then tend to buy products with green delivery choices. They may even pay a premium if it warrants. Government also play a significant role by enacting climate legislations and offering incentives to those who abide with the green logistics systems. Investors, on the other hand, are people who really want to invest in asset, gaining more in the in the green investment stakeholders, and this increasingly invest in companies with strong ESG performance. Knowledge of these stakeholders imperative is necessary to crafting realistic green logistics strategies. Please move to the next slide. Drivers of these green chain supplies. A number of drivers prompt the shift towards supply chain. The first of these are regulatory bodies. Government setting limited emission and mandatory scope 3 emission reports, including air freights. Rising energy price also make conventional model of logistics costlier for sustainability. Climate-related risks such as supply chains disruption through extreme weather event also compels businesses to invest in more robust greener system. Lastly, consumers' demands play an important role. Consumers today concerned with sustainability and will pay sustainable brands. These four drivers, regulation, costs, weather, and consumers, are putting an enormous pressure for change on the logistic industry. Please move to the next slide. No, to the previous one, please. To the previous one, 8. Slide 8. All right. Then the key drivers to this case study is the DHL Go Green program and the Unilever company. The DHL Go Green program is a great instance of how a large logistic company is fighting against air flight pollution. They have set themselves to be zero emission by 2025. They have already made significant progress. DHL uses sustainable aviation fuel, embrace electric vehicles, and the routes are optimized with AI. They also provide carbon offset to customers. They have low CO2 emission per package by 35% since 2007. They show that green logistic investment not only is possible, it can be made more efficient, enhance reputation. DHL's success provides the blueprint for others company to follow. Move to the next slide, please. The Unilever case study has made sustainability a part of its supply chain. All these ways, even other logistics that supplies to Unilever are also complying to this green logistics system. Unilever actively minimize air flight for non-essential products and prefers sea or rail instead. It is also employed as green warehouse power by solar panels and built to save maximum energy. Unilever hard work paid off. They reduced CO2 emission in their supply chain by 52% between 2008 and 2020. They also audit and track suppliers' user blockchain, putting everyone on the partner of sustainability terms. Unilever shows that all it is possible to be green and at the scale as a multinational. This business model economic, is economical and socially sustainable and makes them responsible logistics leader. I'll hand over to the next slide to my colleague Mohammed Umar. Thank you. Please unmute yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Muhammad Umair and I will be presenting the second part of our talk. My sections deal with theoretical models of green logistics, feasibility of green its air freight operations, market trends, and adoptions of barriers. Using different tools such as the triple bottom line and pistols, we are able to gain a good understanding of business and environmental effects. I'll also explore what's helping and what's holding back progress in this era. These insights are essentials for evaluating whether green air freight is short term or long term solutions. Let's start with the theory. The next slide. Uh, okay, data analysis. For our research, we employed a variety of analytics tools. Pastel analysis associated us in understanding the external world, examining politics, technology, and environmental drivers. Triple bottom line assisted us in measuring the environmental, social, and financial effects of green logistics. We further employed stakeholder theory to trace whose interests are most impacted. This combination provided us with a balanced view. Our evidence revealed no single optimum solution, instead, a plate of emerging options. We favored a safe and multi-muted transport as potential options. We ended with a verified action plan, short-term actions such as AI routing with longer-term options, such as green aircraft and regional hubs. Next slide. Theoretical framework. In order to position our research academically, we use a number of theoretical viewpoints. First, triple bottom line as a theoretical viewpoint that complex businesses to consider profit, but also social and environmental performance. Most useful when considering green supply chains. And secondly, we made the use of pastel framework for making sense of large forces such as policy, economics, and technology that impact logistics. Finally, we utilize stakeholder theory to examine the competing interests of governments and consumers, suppliers, and shareholders collectively to balance the view and show that sustainable logistic is not merely a question of ethics. It is also a strategic brought about by a variety of external drivers. Next slide. Now let's see how viable green logistic really is. One is on the bright side. It offers long-term cost savings, improved stakeholder relations, and reputations enhancement. On the other hand, there are a couple of drawbacks. Green technology has very high initial investment and might be hard to replicate at large scale, although it can be achieved as with Unilever and DHL. For SMEs, it may be a problem. There are threats in changing consumer taste and a new green technology, but opportunities there are too. And the threats, economics fluctuation and greenwashing risks, sustainability and economics impact. Green logistic is not for saving the world, it's also good for bottom line. On the environmental side, carbon emissions are minimized, air quality is improved, and circle particles are encouraged. Economically, the short-term investment is high, but encouraged economically. The short-term, but the benefits of operational efficiency and fuel savings, avoiding costs, penalties. Green logistic companies tend to attract ESG and Unilever environmental practices cut emissions by 52% while increasing profit margins. DHL experienced both emission declines and enhanced customers' loyalty. Therefore, the benefit is twofold. It addresses environmental objects and make long-term business sense. Major market trends. A number of market trends are informing the future of green air logistics. Firstly, increasing take up of sustainability aviation fuel, reducing life cycle emissions by as much as 80%. Second, businesses are transforming to multimodal transport, sustainable sea or rail for air freight where practicable. Thirdly, blockchain and digital traceability are increasingly important for monitoring emissions and making suppliers accountable. Finally, there's been a significant rise in electric and hybrid ground fleets. These trends show that business are not waiting for government; they are actively reshaping logistics themselves. The next few years will be pivotal mainstreaming these innovations. Now, my team member is presenting Muhammad Hussein.
Hi, I'm Mohammed Tosin Talimur, and I will sum up our group presentation by describing our proposals shown the source of uncertainty, our data analysis process, and lastly, the conclusion and references. My emphasis is primarily on how to proceed, what companies can do short and long term, what unexpected events would influence green logistics, and how we analyzed our data to support our proposition. These last slides encapsulate our theoretical, practical, and analytical findings from our research into a short action plan for policymakers and business that wish to mitigate air freight pollution responsibly. Then I'm going to talk about my next slide, barriers to adoption. Even with all the advancements, there remains major impediments to using green logistics. The largest one is price. Green technologies such as SAF or electric planes are very capital intensive. Second, there are technology constraints. Constraints. Electric planes have not yet been developed, and SAF is costly and short supply. Thirdly, there is insufficient infrastructure for green supply chains in most parts of the world, particularly developing nations. Finally, there is resistance from with organizations, be it from suppliers, logistics partners, or even leadership without proper change management and transparent incentive. Adoption falters. Identifying these challenges is key to coming up with practical, scalable solutions. So I'm going to my next slide recommendations. Consistent with our analysis, we suggest a two-stage approach. Short term, it means 0 to 3 years. Measures would include AI-based route optimization, the application of SAF files, and carbon offsetting services. They are low-risk, low-cost measures with concrete benefits within the near term. In the longer run, 4 to 10 years, we suggest green aircraft technology investments, redesign of supply chains to minimize air freight use, and public-private partnerships of co-developing infrastructure like green freight corridors. These strategies are realistic and adaptable, especially when integrated with broader ESG goals. Our recommendations balance the ambition with the practicality to help firms transition smoothly and sustainably. When I talk about my next slide, external uncertainties, although our suggestions are sound, there are extrinsic elements reducing uncertainty. Firstly, regulatory evolution might speed up or slow the pace of adoption. New carbon charges or staff requirements, for instance, would alter cost curve. Secondly, economic instability like inflammation of recession might cause firms to postpone green spending. Thirdly, technological advancements, example, battery technology or SAF ramp up, might accelerate or deaccelerate transition timelines. Lastly, geopolitical crises such as pandemics or wars can put pressure on global supply chains and hence more crucial but challenging green logistics. Those dangers underscore the need for adaptive responses that adapt to changed circumstances while maintaining longer-term objectives in place. Then I'm going to my conclusion. Finally, yet importantly, our project proves green air freight logistics can be made possible, albeit with some sacrifices. Leaders like DHL, Unilever demonstrate how reducing emissions is possible without compromising on operational performance. Our recommendations provide a realistic blueprint which harmonizes environmental stewardship with economic resemblances and uncertainly perpetually lags in the wings. So policy shifts, technological leaps, or world crises can all reset what is possible. That is why we require evidence-based, flexible planning. Our references are respectable ones such as McKinsey, IEA, DHL, and Unilever, and therefore we are academically sound. So I'm going to conclude my our presentations. Thank you for your time.